This Inspire TV, Inspire Chat TV, you're up. Happy holiday to you, man. Same way. All right, so here this now. When we want to show you something, and this serious. We get, 2023 are coming in by Monday 2023, right? Yeah. So Sunday, we're missing today about Friday. So Saturday, today the 30th, Saturday the 31st, Sunday the 1st, right? Sunday. All right. So Gugu, we have a commissioner there, we say my work. And people just hear what I tell you. That are the same person who go around and him and make them have keep the state of emergency when they don't even make no sense. Him, I play him, I play him. I want to listen him good. When you have a state of public emergency, remember do mash up the place. Nobody now have no confidence in can do police work and then make him mash up the place. May I show Sheriff Judd. May I show you how them man they sit down, use intelligence and use everything and boss. He work with other state officials and thing and take down a bag of people. May I show you it when me done. May I show you how him lock down police, how him lock down farmer, judge and how him do all kind of things. But me forgot show Gugu. Just listen to Gugu I say. On the 25th, where's the junglist? Up, say there. Yeah man, Jason. Up. 20 tall. Yeah man, Mr. G. Where I say? Uplift. Where I say man? Yeah man. Great and get parlor. Up. See? On the 25th of December, Jamaica Commissioner attacked to the press. And him tell the same to 6 stations from Port Royal go up. And not even one crime commit. So if the crime commit, but him going use the tool, the state, him going call back for a state of emergency and use it go in. So if you have no crime commit, why you don't call a state of emergency? It come out of him own mouth. Him go in a Manchester. Him do the same thing. Jamaica can't be fooled by this man that the government now run. Me gonna show you how the sheriff I run him thing. And look, if you see Biden there, or you see the vice president or anybody like that, police to policing. Yeah? Them the policing. Them have them attorney general, or what them want what them call it, attorney general office, right? What them call it? Yeah. Them state attorney, right? Yeah. And them do what them do. Listen Google good before I play them man. I'll show you real police and the foolishness we Google are going with. You understand? Listen what Google say. And if you go by where Google say, they never need a state of emergency. You know what them just call one? Up a buffalo. Because, remember snow around 4 feet in and around much people dead in the snow and things, so they want to clean it up and what have you. And it's not called for long. See? But him call and then call it not the whole place. When him say all of them station not even want to listen him good. Listen this guy good. All right, play him first.
Especially at this time, Christmas Day. It's an important day when most people are at home with their families. We have to have people on duty, and it's always a pleasure to come out and interact with officers on Christmas morning. We've visited 6 stations across largely Kingston and St. Andrew. Started in Port Royal early this morning, and now we're at Stony Hill Police Station. So it's been a good day. Most of the places, as a matter of fact, all of them have been recorded, so no crimes have been reported to any.
So people, if it come from female, no crime has reported in December the 25th. None. Or him come up to a state of emergency. Listen, in the same breath, he might tell us, he might call a state of emergency, And the PSOJ go with this fucking piece of shit, yeah? The PSOJ, people want to start boycott them. This is a foolishness now. This guy don't know nothing at all what him do is a baby in this. You hear what him say? You hear ups? No. Cry, and like you say, me go a Port Royal along that kill how much people dead and be a gunshot of fire. Me go 6 stations now, me I told the place. Nothing. But just listen when him say, me call it back. Listen. Play back there, so. Listen him, you know. Listen.
Officers on Christmas morning. We've visited 6 stations across largely Kingston and St. Andrew. Started in Port Royal early this morning, and now we're at Stony Hill Police Station. So it's been a good day. Most of the places, as a matter of fact, all of them have been recorded. So no crimes have been reported to any of the stations that we've visited. And hopefully we'll have the rest of the day being as peaceful as it has been so far. The team has been working really hard over the last 3 months to reduce crime, all sorts of crime, but particularly in terms of violent crime. We will, of course, have just come out of a state of public emergency, and certainly before the end of the year, I'll be seeking another one to start from the latter part of the year and into early part of next year. So
that makes sense to the people. You hear who called state of emergency? You tour. And you said no crime cross the belt of Kingston and St. Andrew. Not even one reported when you are tour. But you are seek a next state of emergency. This is what them are do. You are telling me say Andrew and them people. You are telling me say and it's state of emergency is not even legit. When you hear this clear, you hear who I do the state of emergency? Me tell you know. Because me hear him say it before. When him just said it a while, me play it back again. Him not send tour and 5 people dead. And people get chopped up. People get wounded. All kind of thing I want so him need a state of emergency. Him say no crime. But him a seek a next one. If you go in the latter part of here, him tell the Prime Minister more want a next state of emergency. Give the soldier them police power. Soldier don't do police work. This is a goddamn shame. This is abuse of power, you know. This guy, him for charge for some treason and some fucking shit too, you know. Him for charge, this and the police, you know. I'll be a fuck him, I do, you know. Yeah? And Andrew go with the fuck with you, you know. And the Governor General assign them thing, you know. Listen again. Listen. Play it back. Remember, you know, him say must start from Port Royal, that's the tip. Come round and him going up a Constant Spring. And all of them stations them go and visit. Not even one crime. This is a Christmas. Listen again. Listen.
Police station. So it's been a good day. Most of the places, as a matter of fact, all of them have been recorded. So no crimes have been reported to any of the stations that we've visited. And hopefully we'll have the rest of the day being as peaceful as it has been so far. The team has been working really hard over the last 3 months to reduce crime, all sorts of crime, but particularly in terms of violent crime. We will, of course, have just come out of a state of public emergency, and certainly before the end of the year, I'll be seeking another one to start from the latter part of the year and into early part of next year. So as one of our strategies, of course, all the other policing strategies that we use are still going to be used over this period.
So it's a strategy I use. Strategies. One of them strategies. I have to play it back and I couldn't hear it again one more time so I listen. Me tell you say him a do it. Me tell you say him a do it. Yeah, here.
It's an important day when most people are at home with the families. We have to have people on duty, and it's always a pleasure to come out and interact with officers on Christmas morning. We've visited 6 stations across largely Kingston and St. Andrew. Started in Port Royal early this morning, and now we're at Stony Hill Police Station. So it's been a good day. Most of the places, as a matter of fact, all of them have been recorded. So no crimes have been reported to any of the stations that we've visited.
No crime.
And hopefully we'll have the rest of the day being as peaceful as it has been so far. The team has been working really hard over the last 3 months to reduce crime, all sorts of crime, but particularly in terms of violent crime. We will, of course, have just come out of a state of public emergency, and certainly before the end of the year, I'll be seeking another one to start from the latter part of the year and into early part of next year. So
him a fling the monkey wrench, him call the shots. So nothing what the Prime Minister come and tell you say, and not foolishness, them and use it for him says that's tragedy. You hear him for yourself? Eh? So when the Prime Minister come out and serious and mash up the country with this state of emergency shit, him, me tell you say I call it, him Me telling you, you know. Him a call it. Him not have no plan. Him not have no style. This one, nobody not believe in him. And then they talk about for sign. And who for sign and talk about state of emergency. You know, say I be a fuck him, I do. You forgot me not talk to baby hard, but you have to talk to him hard. This is not a police. A fuck him, I do. You in a Christmas, you visit all these stations. You hearing the flare up? No. Eh? Normal policing. So why you get soldier police powers? Eh? Him a call for the next one. We just come out of one, so we call for the next one. So circumvent. Them a go round the legal system where you have to talk, to extend it, you have to talk to the that's to show you how the American them not have no respect to Jamaica people. You have to talk to the opposition because they have voted down. And then you have the stinking PSOJ. I follow this guy. Look who a lead the country in a doom. Look who the fuck they make a lead the country in a doom. Eh? This are not police. And this are do all the fucking damage to the country internationally right now. That. Because each time them do this, other places say I call to them people, book back. The guy said there is no crime, no committed on the 25th. All of the station, I play it one more time, then I go on. But he want a state of emergency. He might tell him want one more for going at the new year. Eh? This make any sense? It make any sense, people? Yeah.
On Christmas morning, we've visited 6 stations across
6?
largely Kingston and St. Andrew. Started in Port Royal early this morning, and now we're at Stony Hill Police Station. So it's been a good day. Most of the places, as a matter of fact, all of them have been recorded. So no crimes have been reported.
None.
To any of the stations that we've visited. And hopefully we'll have the rest of the day being as peaceful as it has been so far. The team has been working really hard over the last 3 months to reduce crime, all sorts of crime, but particularly in terms of violent crime. We will, of course, have just come out of a state of public emergency, and certainly before the end of the year, I'll be seeking another one to start from the latter part of.
I will be seeking another one. Me not telling you anything, hey, I want him to listen good enough. Nothing past me, you know. I will be seeking. It's not a threat. I'll do him go to the station and you know have no crime or report or nothing at all. No crime. You know, see nothing overrun. This kind of him fucking dumb skull. I can't see it a fucking emergency. I fuck up Jamaica. Eh? And Andrew follow this fuckery. People want to forget real people, man. They're tired of this. This a fuckery now. Yeah. This a figure and fucking yard. This a foolishness. Because if you can talk out of your fucking mouth, say, you visit 6 stations. Yeah? No come up. No, at the 20, at the, much so, the 30th, right? 5 years ago, you visit too much station. And not come up, not even one crime. You're there up, way up, so. You start from Port Royal, and you go through the East Kingston, go where you go. 6 different stations, and everything silent and everything. But in the silence, you say, okay, we come out of state of emergency. So, I will call for next one. I will call. Remember, you know, at the station, them have ever run by them work. You say, listen again, it's quiet. But this is fucking illegal. What them I do is fucking illegal. And Andrew can't make no, hey, we have to stop listening to him, you know. At times, we want to stop listening to him. Yeah? Because this is not a crime plan. I'm going to show you how people run crime. Let me just run a little, because them have a coffee, you know.
Started in Port Royal early this morning, and now we're at Stony Hill Police Station. So it's been a good day. Most of the places, as a matter of fact, all of them have been recorded. So no crimes have been reported.
None.
To any of the stations that we've visited. And hopefully we'll have the rest of the day being as peaceful as it has been so far. The team has been...
Remember, you know, in every day you must have a little crime, and that's a normal thing. Normal thing. You ever hear this, Douglas? Me I make you hear this guy. Yeah? The guy said there is normal. He go 60 from Port Royal, go straight and up a Stony Hill. So he pass through East Kingston, go about in business. That means that the station them are calling, you know. Yes, still right now you have state of emergency in the whole of Kingston and St. Andrew. They now go circle up for them part, you know. So him a call, just listen here. Him a call, it's a normal day. Yeah, him visit 6 station from Port Royal. So him have to come through Rockford, go and go about where him a go. Right? And you know, have no crime at all, not no report. But him a call for a state of emergency. I will be calling for a next state of emergency. Call me back in a hour. So this and is the tragic. This sickening. This sick.
You have to have people on duty, and it's always a pleasure to come out and interact with officers on Christmas morning. We've visited 6 stations across largely Kingston and St. Andrew. Started in Port Royal early this morning, and now we're at Stony Hill Police Station. So it's been a good day. Most of the places, as a matter of fact, all of them have been recorded. So no crimes have been reported.
No crime.
Any of the stations that we've.
So if you have no crime or you call state of emergency, you at this step put as commissioner, Douglas, you understand what it say? It will show you the carelessness. It will show you say him don't know the fuck what him a do. Him a no police. This a no police. A fuck him a do. So you go to the station and I like we will say that is a Jamaica bun down and all kind of things and it will run rampant how much people and all kind of little thing. No. But him a tell you say more, him a put it in. Him say no crime, you know. Yeah, listen.
Visited. And hopefully we'll have the rest of the day being as peaceful as it has been so far.
Peaceful.
The team has been working really hard over the last 3 months to reduce crime, all sorts of crime, but particularly in terms of violent crime. We will, of course, have just come out of a state of public emergency, and certainly before the end of the year, I'll be seeking another one to start from the latter part of the year and into early part of next year. So as one of our strategies, of course, all the other policing strategies that we use are still going to be used over this period. All of that under Operation Relentless, including what we do under an SOE, is still use the techniques and tactics under Operation Relentless, plus those additional powers given to us under a state of public emergency.
So those additional power given to us under a state of emergency. What more power you want? This man know about them for fire this fucking. This is not a baboon. And a baboon me I watch. This is not commissioner. Police wanna stop. Wanna come out in a numbers and say wanna have to move this fuck out of the place. This is not a police. If you can come out of your mouth and you go around and say the place peaceful, and you no crime no reported, but you're a call for a state of emergency after your fucking head. That may take state of emergency like is a tie rag. A strategy where we use. You know see this we get fired. No, it's serious, you know. This serious, you know. So him come and tell us, say, what the Prime Minister tell you a lie, him tell us about, boop, bap, 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 and then what it do? It draw, you know, tourism and everybody, it draw them attention and say, oh, the place rampant, boom, bam, bam. So, you know, watch the people and people now want fire and all kind of thing. Him a mash up the place. Him a drive for state of emergency. Yeah? I'm going to tell you, if you listen, go to hear all this. Yes, because the intelligence and them tell me them need it. And the fucking Gorilla General assign it. Normal policing, you can go through from East Kingston and Port Royal, go straight up there so and say it's normal and everything. But you call a state of emergency in the whole fucking place, up even Port Royal. Go right back more than 3/4 of the fucking country in a state of emergency. But then you saw him say it. Look here. Yeah.
Operation Relentless continues. Here in Manchester, we didn't declare a state of public emergency, but using the other methods, all of the other methods that we use in conjunction with the state of emergency, when we use them in Manchester without a state of emergency, we still got results here. So they'll continue to press. The Manchester team has been working hard and have detained or captured 35 named persons on the normal policing.
Under normal policing, them capture 35 persons, detain and capture. Under normal policing. Under normal policing. Yeah, yeah? All right?
Methods.
Under normal policing. So you see what him do? Him a mash up the place. And Andrew there with him click, click, clock, clock, and crab. None of them now have no use. And then you have PSO, they are fucked up and run out. And I chat fuck with these guys. This is Andrew, that's why, let me tell you something, Andrew. This is why you should not politicize. Because more than one thing I say about crime, and the time the thing they do, I never spend much money. Why I spend the most money, that don't make no sense, is a failure. You have failed on our thief the most money, brother. Eh? It not do nothing at all. Whatever do is gay. Whatever do is gay. Soldier police power. You understand? And soldier them, what them have to do with it, they never train as police. Eh? Them are going to say, hey, I can arrest you, you know. But them not going to court or nothing. Them are going to turn you over. Them not do investigation and them thing there. No. I'm going to military police and them are going to go limit the amount of power up a camp and with them soldier. Limited amount of powers. Not on the street like that. For deep with for them soldier. So soldier not do police work. You understand? But he need the military for out there that them are shoot themselves in them foot. All right, let me show them how police do them work. I'm going to show them something now. Look at the sheriff here. He take down a whole ring and him link up in the state. And look if you say, because when them are talking, I always say Prime Minister and thing. No. Him for them amongst other peers. Law enforcement officer, DEA, who them amongst and what have you. You understand? And when them call them the attorney, state attorney or something, and them, they run because of them black where people are wow attorney and them. See? You know, see, Biden run going at this. The vice president and them people that it no work like that. Look on this. Look how people do work without the state of emergency and block out the whole fucking group and not talk about to know people. Look how people do work. Look here.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with me today. This is a remarkably exciting day for us. I'm going to start by telling you that we did a protracted investigation over the last 2 years. It ended up with the oral intercept or a wiretap, as we know. It's important to understand that when you do a wiretap investigation, that immediately that investigation is going to leave your jurisdiction. It always does, because we're dealing with an international smuggling ring that operated out of Winter Haven, Florida. There was a lot of predicate cases that was put together before the wiretap was ever requested. And it takes an entire team of people across the United States. So first I want to introduce to you those that are standing up with me.
So I don't want to pass too long because I want to listen to this. I show them how police work. If take him 2 years, take him 2 years. But look when block out, what Gugu do in all them ears. Is a big syndicate them just take down, you know. And they might tell you, oh, why I tap him, they just running from people. He not trying to pay your rights. They have to go through the right channel. But he might show you all them busting. Them not run up and down and do net fishing like one big, no. Yes, it end up like a net fishing, you know, but not like, oh, you just randomly just take with some people and what have you. A spear fishing, but it catch big. Like one spear go through all 100. Yeah, man. You see me I say? Just watch this. Watch this. And look, I say the government minister. Me not say that. Look here.
And then we'll talk about the other agencies that were involved, and you can get a flavor for the complexity of the coordination of this investigation. First and foremost, none of this can happen without our State Attorney, Brian Haas, who's with us today.
State Attorney. You see, State Attorney. So, but in a Jamaica, where you have the Strike 5, and the same thing like the State Attorney. A matter of fact, another State Attorney, she have the whole thing for the whole place. Director, Public DPP. Yeah? The Public Prosecutor, the Strike 5. Yeah? State attorney this. You know, see nobody up there, you know, them put you away, right? So we never keep meeting, you know, them police thing. State attorney, the sheriff, who. You know, see, Biden has so. And you know, see, who they are so, it don't make no sense. Eh? Just look here.
Mr. Haas and his wonderful prosecutors, Nicole Orr and Jennifer Ordonez, are in charge of this investigation.
Prosecutors.
They have worked hand in glove with us for over 2 years.
Over 2 years.
Our state attorney is the real deal in Polk County.
Jamaica state attorney is the bogus deal. Politically aligned and don't pay shit. When I read state attorney. Yeah.
Vernacular. He puts bad guys in jail. He prosecutes people. He does what's right.
Yeah.
And we're proud to.
The one in Jamaica does what's wrong. When them friend kill people in a house and them friend rob up money and thing, them walk free. Them just go for some little youth and tag them and let go who them let go and lock up who them lock up. In a Jamaica, them figure more for all them too. Yeah, man.
Have him prosecuting for us in the 10th Judicial Circuit. Osceola Sheriff Marcos Lopez, a good friend of mine and my colleague, we helped us immensely during this investigation, and he's standing up with us today. FDLE Special Agent in Charge Mark Brutnell from our Tampa office is here with us today. All of them will speak, as well as our police chief from Winter Haven, who worked closely with us because this organization was focused on and operated out of Winter Haven, David Brannon. But without Homeland Security investigations, we have Group Supervisor Darcy Corton and U.S. Border Patrol Agent in Charge Matthew Heckmanzik. We could not have been successful. We had to have contacts and we had to have work that occurred from the importation of methamphetamine by the pound, by the multiple pound from Mexico into Los Angeles and Fresno. And from LAX to Fresno, all of this drug flowed through, some through Memphis and some directly to us through the Orlando airport.
So hear this now, when I talk about me know this and me know that. You hear the man, how them can tell you what them use, why tapping them do the thing, them use 2 years. Them not running with big gun pan nobody and do all kind of thing. Look how them take down a whole family, the whole thing. Just look pan this.
So we also had the U.S. Postal Inspection Service, the Orlando Police Department, the Tampa International Airport Police Department, the St. Lucie County Sheriff's Office, the Fresno Police Department, and the Shelby County Sheriff's Office in Tennessee assist us. Now, all of these predicates in front of a press conference, usually people go, but I want you to understand, without them, this couldn't have come together. It was that massive an operation.
Massive.
So we began in September of 2020. We received information that the Jefferson family from Winter Haven was smuggling large amounts of drugs into Florida from Mexico.
Them receive, but I hear all them get them intelligence now. Just let them receive. Look,
through California and then to the streets of Central Florida. In February of 22, we ultimately initiated the wiretap. And why did we do this? We bought and made predicate cases for the wiretap throughout the 2 ensuing years, but we couldn't get to the top and link the organization together. This was a very different kind of operation. If you look at our org chart there, you notice that there's kind of 3 distinct groups of people. They were all interacting, but they had heads of each organization, and we'll go over and introduce you to some of them in a few minutes. But it wasn't the traditional organization. It was multifaceted. So we started the investigation. And here's what we determined. We determined that this large amount of drugs, by and large, was being smuggled to us from LAX in domestic flights. And I want to focus on domestic flights for just a few minutes. As a result of this investigation, we arrested 85 suspects. We added 355 new felony charges, 93 new misdemeanor charges to them.
Yeah, what the man do? Them take them 2 years, but how much suspect them get? 80, a matter of fact, them did have them pan radar because them do things before. So 85, them take in. When them a boss 85, that mean a route out route. Them no go for 5. And who them go for member them now get way? Them a take time in a jail. Just want to listen.
Listen, folks, I am sick and tired of this national media and these national groups telling us that drugs are low level and nonviolent. I think we'll demonstrate to you in just a few minutes that it's anything other than low level and nonviolent. That's right. The overwhelming majority of these people, not everyone, but the overwhelming majority of them,
Criminal.
had a previous 690 felony charges that had been filed against them, as well as 194 previous convictions and 712 misdemeanors.
Yeah.
So we're not dealing with people that are low-level, nonviolent people. Where did all of that silliness come from? And it's important to understand.
Because the man are just read out the real thing. And them kind of thing I talk about. And them thing I sit down and you have to study these things. And them thing I love say. You understand me now? You're not the foolishness to big up yourself. Yo, up.
And I want the people of this country to.
Gugu, look how Sheriff, look how police work together and them do what them a do. When they depend about 400 young this and that. You see when they make a movie, so much they move out at one time. Look here.
Understand, they get to watch this on social media from my lips to their ears, that anybody that's trying to advance an agenda that drugs aren't dangerous, that drugs aren't deadly, they are lying to you. They are not telling you the truth. In this particular operation, we seized 268 pounds of methamphetamine, 6.8 ounces of fentanyl. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot, just 6.8 ounces. But according
to what I'm saying, the fentanyl, 6.8 ounces, very deadly, you know. But listen to what I say. Just listen to what I say about this.
To our DEA partners, 2 milligrams of fentanyl can be a deadly overdose. Okay, Grady, so what does all that mean? It means that 6.8 ounces of fentanyl could have killed up to 96,000 people.
Okay.
And we know in this investigation, and I'll repeat it again, that one of the Jefferson family, prior to the startup of this investigation, died from a drug overdose, but still their family poured this poison into our community, even though one of their loved ones died from some of the same drugs they were importing and selling on the streets. We seized a total of 49 firearms, all kinds of other assorted drugs and pills worth $12.8 million, and we seized.
So, them catch 85, them have other thing over 12.8 million, them catch much chuck, them get firearm, them take, you so much thing them take off for the road one time, 2 years, them just run them thing and wait. Google don't know them style here.
$235,000 in cash. We know firsthand there were at least 2 drug overdoses during this investigation. And one of the drug overdoses, as I said, was one of the Kingpin's brothers that occurred just before we kicked the entire investigation off. It's important to understand why we were up on the wiretap, that we heard chatter within minutes of an unsolved homicide that's still being worked diligently by the Winter Haven Police Department at this time. So when you know that you have at least 2 overdose deaths, when you know that there is chatter on your wiretap as to a murder that just occurred in the city of Winter Haven, you're dealing with violent, dangerous people. So I want to point out, when we talk about low-level nonviolent crimes, this is what people were having pointed in their face. I'm going to introduce you to a guy who was kicking the door in and doing home invasion robberies and telling people he was the police. But look at the high-powered firearms that we seized. Now, you see this firearm and you go, yeah, that's a pretty ominous-looking firearm. Well, our folks, our detectives from the various agencies who are simply the very best in these long-term investigations had to face these guns, had to risk their life to get this gun away from hardened criminals and put them in jail. So at the end of the day, it's important to understand that people risk their lives in law enforcement in order for an investigation of this to come to a successful conclusion. But I want to highlight one event before I get to our folks. Listen to me, folks. There's nothing more important to us than the screening that occurs on our aircraft. When I hear people grumble and complain about having to go through scanners and TSA checking and their bags checked, and I hear that grumbling, I think, are you all out of your minds? They're keeping you safe. They're protecting your life. And I'm excited and thankful when I go through a TSA screening that those folks are there doing that for me. But here's what we know. Over and over and over on these domestic airlines from LAX, through suitcases, drugs was smuggled here. That's right, look at this. On one occasion, on one airline, 6 suitcases with this drug was smuggled into Orlando. They didn't so much as throw a pair of underwear in the suitcase to act like they were hiding the drugs.
You hear that?
You think LAX has got a drug smuggling problem at the airport? I believe that they do, and they need to address it ASAP. There were 6 of these suitcases on one flight.
Yeah, all right, so I'm going to tell you, 6 of them, and look how them does make them come in and catch one of them, and them wire them trail them do everything, profile them, grab them, look how them work. Me saying the president, anybody there, so police do them work, them do them work. Them have them state attorney and what have you, and who get charged, and do all kind of things. Just listen how them work need. Them matter about state of emergency. 85 people, look how much money, look how much thing them grab one time. Them the police in, look here.
Think about that. Let me show you what this group looked like. All of this came in on one flight. One flight. So what happened at the other end of the line? There needs to be a deep dive into the baggage handlers.
Yeah. The man as Mark Gugu, him said it need to be a deep dive into the baggage angler because if it coming like this, seem like in our wharf, our airport. But him said it need a deep dive into the baggage angler because you have to notice who did that work at the time and everything. Same thing like, yes, you hear him. Because we teach them thing a long time and I Google them now work.
And to see where the hookup was.
The hookup.
To allow suitcase after suitcase after suitcase to get through the scanning with no clothes inside, no evidence of clothes inside, just drugs. You think we've got a big operation going on here? I think we've uncovered a problem for LAX.
Yeah. So them tell us them uncover the problem for even the airport. They might tell us the airport to get them things straight. Because who did that work? And they might get to it. Other people are get lock up, watch.
94 pounds of meth and 48 pounds of cannabis came in that day on that one aircraft. And here are the masterminds. Here are the ringleaders from left to right. Abdosh McKenzie, DeMarcus Jefferson, Dwayne Stackhouse Sr., Leonard Henderson, Javaris Samuel, and DeMarte Munson. You'll hear more about them in a few minutes. But I want you to see the men who masterminded, who were the ringleaders, who put together this very complicated this very complicated criminal enterprise ring that we investigated, and see how dangerous these men are. And DeMarcus Jefferson lost his brother to the same drugs, the same poison he was peddling in our community. So let's look at some of the individual players. Here's Adash McKenzie. We'll go over real quick. He was selling fentanyl pills. He would tell us that in the undercover operations, I operate in mysterious ways so the cops can't catch me.
You himself, well, he will tell us in undercover operation, and he might tell them, but him don't know say them. Now that we say them kind of police and police in your want. Eh? So the cop can't catch him, but he might talk to the cop and them don't know. Eh? Undercover operation, you see it? Watch out, yeah.
Newsflash. It wasn't so mysterious. He got his first job in 9 years recently at KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken.
You them know everything.
Do you know why?
You notice them know everything about him? Oh, you mean them here step on the ground and them man you for power with. Hear this.
He was proud of that $200 he made that week. Now he's a major drug smuggler. Why did he do that? Well, he was jammed up in a custody dispute, and he had to show the judge that he had a legitimate job. Otherwise, where did the money come from?
Yeah. I'm tell Sunday come man when they on the system, them I want to know where your money come from, and them just want to pan down and things that, you know, people are idiot. You can't just have some money, but we don't know where it come from. I have it in a wagga wagga. All right, here. All right, watch this.
But he is a businessman, because then he would pay his co-workers with dope to prep his workstation at work. But he's an ethical KFC guy, because my guys ask him, can we have the recipe for the Kentucky Fried Chicken? He wouldn't give it up if he had it. But this guy was scamming the system the whole way. Then there's DeMarcus Jefferson. He's another local kingpin of the operation. His brother is the one at only 25 years of age died of a drug overdose. Ladies and gentlemen, let me underscore once again, I can't understand how in the world DeMarcus could peddle poison to people when his family suffered such a loss as their 25-year-old kid brother. But there are people dying every day across this country because of drug overdoses and drug abuse. And yet we continue to try to downplay it as nonviolent, low-level drugs. You'll hear me say that a lot. The next person that tells you that, ask them if they're out of their mind or if they're on drugs, because it's dangerous. Now, along the way, just before the investigation, here's DeMarcus Jefferson's vehicle as he was intoxicated and drove through the front of a store. Some of the local news stations covered this. But what did he have with him when he drove into the front of this store while impaired? He had drugs, because he made phone calls, and we have videos from the store of people running up with masks on, going into the trunk, and taking items out of the trunk before law enforcement arrive. DeMarcus is also involved in violent crashes. Then there's Antonio Jefferson, another one of the family members. In April 2021, we and the Florida Department of Law Enforcement charged him with armed trafficking in methamphetamine. While, let me say this clearly, I don't want you to miss it. While out on bond, he was trafficking more methamphetamine. Did you hear what I told you? Let me say that again, so you want to hear it clearly. I don't want to stutter. In April, we arrested him with FDLE on armed trafficking of meth. He bonded out and was trafficking in meth. And then we heard him on The Intercept saying, my attorney wants me to help. He wants me to cooperate. He wants me to give substantial assistance. He bragged, how can I do that? I'm the head of my organization. How can I help? Well, we're going to help Antonio Jefferson. We're going to help him to the state prison for a very long time.
Bro! Look how them man, I tell you, hey, let me tell you this. At them police in them one see in Jamaica, you know. But you see them police, you know, say Googs, the whole of them and some of them politicians are gone. At them I talk about real policing when you hear me talk. Real policing. You hear me help him? Him don't know say why you tapping and I say, how can I help? I am the head. Well, them I help him a long time in a prison. See? How much of them dead? 85. Jamaica, as you say, a police go for 2 months. Sometimes of them in the wrong list in Jamaica. You hear how much man dead because them do this and that. 85. How much of them dead? Out of the 85. 85 of them gone in. We're send a signal to them. 85. You know, you're one dead. Police have to kill 10 out of it. Eh? You see it? Police work.
I hope his attorney got paid in advance. Then there's Nathaniel Carr. He was federally indicted for robbery, from home invasions robberies, where he portrayed himself as a law enforcement officer, where he was kicking in doors throughout Central Florida. He's in custody. But we also have him for conspiracy to traffic in methamphetamine that occurred before he was arrested for his robbery arrest. He resided in Lakeland. He currently resides in federal lockup.
He currently reside in federal lockup. And them people make them thing motivate you when you say clean the place, do the right thing.
Then there's Vicente Basanta. He's here from Venezuela with political asylum. Did you hear that? He is here with political asylum. Apparently his ex-wife, who's not with him anymore and is not here, was a news reporter for the opposing party in Venezuela. So when the new party came in, she was scared, and guess what? He fled to the United States. Does he appreciate the United States?
No.
Oh, no, he doesn't appreciate the United States. He comes here to traffic in drugs.
Yes.
And what you have here is a Bible case. You see? People recognize these as Bible cases. But what did Vicente do? He carried his drugs in these Bible cases. Now, how much more low down can you get? So we give political asylum to a guy from Venezuela to come to this country to traffic in drugs and hide it in Bible cases. What the heck? I'm certain there must be some other words for him beside what I've said, but they probably wouldn't be appropriate. Oh, he was trafficking in cocaine. He's still here legally on asylum. I say we send him back.
Send him back.
This is Clay Bryan. Now, this is interesting. To tell you how this international operation goes, Clay pulls up at the racetrack gas station in Eagle Lake. and he leaves the car running.
That's true, Paula. True. Watch this. Yeah, man.
Did you hear what I said? He left the car running while he ran into the store. Was he only going to be gone a short time? Voila. 3 juveniles from the area steal his car. And all of a sudden, they're wrapped up in an international drug smuggling operation when they steal the guard of the stash house's vehicle, which had a pound of meth in it.
You hear this?
But being the enterprising young men that they were, not knowing they were in with some really bad dudes, they found the meth. But did they decide, let's abandon our stolen car and our meth? No. Then they talked about, hey, I'm going to sell this meth and make some real money. That's right. So these little dudes not only ripped off a major international drug smuggling operation, then they were going to sell the dope to make a profit. Well, they all got arrested. But it's funny how there's twists and turns because they did us a favor by stealing that car that day. All of that led us back to Clay Bryan, and we seized an additional 24 pounds of meth. And it all started because they stole the car that Clay was operating.
You see it? Him say them do him a favor, but them say them are sell it. Them know in a car, them wire tap up all kind of things, you know. And you them wire tap it, them not just go illegally and do these things. Them do it right. So hear him. And them kind of police and them I want to see. You understand what?
Criminals. Raspers. Then there's Dermonte Munson. He's known as D-Money. He's a local rapper. He was a mastermind. He was one that really put together the trips from the LAX to Florida. But here's the neat thing about Dermonte. He would go through the community. He would provide fireworks on the holidays. He would have Christmas gift giveaways. He would provide Easter egg hunts. You see, he was the good guy in the community, made the money, shared it with the kids. You know, he was grooming himself as a community charitable contributor for the underprivileged. The whole time he's doing it with smuggled and trafficked drug money. He had an associate, Samuel Javaris. Samuel Javaris got a legitimate...
Tavares, him not, him surname and a Finson. Oh, Tavares, oh. And not Tavares, oh. You hear this? Hey, let me show you something now. You see, when the Prime Minister, Jamaica Prime Minister, run going at the house, you know, that's why I call the private house and say him have evidence and information and him have everything and go mash up people house and gangster live there. And them should have show we. You should have sent and boss and buy who you buy from. Where you say eyes on the file up, brother. See, you should have buy who you buy from and then you can come tell me the truth and give a thing like this. When you say you know about gang, if you put them up like this and show me who and what them do. When if you bust them man you bust 80, 85 and none of that. Take them in, get them weapon, 45 weapon, over how much? $11 million worth of stuff and everything. Seize, plus $250 more $1,000 worth of cash and all kind of little things. Jamaica not do these things. Eh? Gugu Gaga, hey, eyes on the fire. Gugu Gaga does play it back as this done. I say, you know, not never go on the 25th, not at all. And him I just do back the state of emergency. Him I have one for done the thing and what. Not tell us how him I do it. Eh? What's it?
Georgia driver's license with a false name on it.
False
and he
name.
booked the flights. He utilized the false names. It worked. He had a robbery warrant and a VOP for battery on a law enforcement that was 10 years old.
Yeah.
We couldn't find him. He had taken on a new identity successfully.
No name.
And he had a friend with him.
Gotcha.
Aldrea McPherson. You see, he's big time. He had a home in Fresno and a home in Davenport, and he moved the drugs. And when we went to stop them so that we could serve the search warrant, Aldria called children who she had access to and told them, hide the dope. Little kids, hide the dope. Are you kidding me? So what did they do with their money? They bought gold, lots of gold. This won't even fit over my head like the last one, so I'll just hold it up. $36,000 worth of gold.
Hey, eyes on
So
the
they're
file.
providing.
When the money are busting, you see them have everything and them will store 2 years and few months. Look how much them take out. Google you did it all long and I know you can't show me nothing like this. You can't have no brain. Them you're not police. Police will never come out, you know. Will never come out. We're too reluctant now to run with it. This guy is not no police. Alright. It's a real police, yeah. Alright. Look.
Things for kids in the neighborhood. You're buying gold. They're telling their family and friends about how successful they are. And the whole time they're peddling poison to your kids. I want to turn the podium over to Brian Haas, our state attorney, who is simply, as I've said before, the very best. There's not enough positive words to say because our state attorney's office is game on about how do we protect the people in the community?
See it?
How do we keep people safe?
So the state attorney, me not see the president, there's a vice president or blinking or nobody, you know. Or the head of the FBI, no. Them state attorney, them have them state attorney, what have you. In a press briefing where them have all the while, yeah, prime minister and a crab. But them call security minister and some other people then some little idiot press people and them that's the right thing because them in a pocket too. And one bag of foolishness. State attorney. So in there, so instead of them have the strike 5 because I see that a press and I see that amongst the commissioner then sometime and a strike 5, you see. See? You know, see the national security minister yesterday, you know. Them have them cabinet, you know. US have a cabinet. And them have state cabinet too. See? So you know, national security minister a crab. We want to put in a barrel. No, stone and turn. Donkey, them to go in a man. Eh? Can you imagine if them make some break like this or them dog go on? Both of them make. You never think people don't know them thing, yeah? Eh? It's a joke, man. Not even one dead. 85. Look here.
And when we suggest these long, very difficult, complicated cases that some prosecutors across the state and nation want to run from because of their complexity, our state attorney and his team run to those cases in order to protect the community. Mr. Haas.
Thank you, Sheriff. I'm very thankful to have been able to be a part of this investigation from the very beginning and understand all the complexities and all the work that went into this. I think that these cases show how our communities are all tied, not just here within our county, but across our state and across our nation and across our world, which is why it's important that we all do our jobs to make sure that the criminals are being dealt with appropriately. Being easy on the criminals, wanting to be their friends, that's not the answer when you're dealing with folks like this. You've got to be aggressive and you've got to take control of the situation, which this is a step in that direction. I think one of the things that really left an impact on me was the amount of work that went into this case. And I know some of the folks that were involved are here today, prosecutors from my office, but across agencies, detectives and folks that spent hours and hours and hours putting the time in, probably missing events with their family and things.
So missing events. So people tell me something. You're hearing the crap there, so for taking the credit. Because police do policing. Then, the prosecutor, and that's why I said the Jamaican prosecutor, you know, see them with the it. Should have the monks, the baby. Not a crab. Each up everywhere. From crime scene and do. No, and Uncle Time each up like when you do things like this because they know how them do the prosecution. Yeah? You understand? See? It not run right. Look here.
Like that, making those sacrifices to put this case together. And I think that a lot of that goes a little bit unthanked for all the work that they did, but we certainly appreciate it, all the work that you've done. The case it's an important day here today, but there's a lot of work still to do, a lot of prosecutions. You see this board, that's a lot of cases. We have a lot of cases and we just got some more. But we're up for the task and we're committed to making sure that we see this through all the way to the end. It will take a long time. The last thing I'll say is a word of thanks to Sheriff Judd. If you look at all of the people up here today and all of the folks that were assembled to make this happen, it's not just local folks, it's other state agencies, federal agencies. It's because of Sheriff Grady Judd and his leadership that this happened. It all starts at the top, and we are so fortunate to have our sheriff as the leader of making sure that this all happened. So thank you, Sheriff, for all your work.
Yeah, man.
Thank you, Mr. Haas. The Osceola Sheriff Marcos Lopez, is a dear friend of mine. And our counties not only abut up to each other, but we have a major metropolitan center where the county line runs kind of through the middle of town. So we have part of the town, and Sheriff Lopez has the majority of the town, but we work closely every day on all kinds of investigations. And Sheriff Lopez is the epitome of professionalism and cooperation. Sheriff, thank you for the opportunity to work with you. You have some comments?
I just want to thank everyone for having us here, Sheriff. You know, all the people that work together to take care and make sure that we could put good cases together for prosecution with a state attorney is really important, because this poison is really killing people. And, you know, criminals don't know borders or boundaries. And like the sheriff says, they go back and forth from Osceola to Polk. And, you know, we really got to maintain a firm hand and make sure that our state prosecutors are putting them in prison for a long time. You know, they don't care. Don't wait till.
They must have to shoot them down. And they you go come on, kill him. That a national security minister crab. They don't want to say, hang him till him teeth kin. You have them to put you in a jail for a long, long time. And for them prison, you know, say, and me not at 100 prison. And if you get 100 days, 100. If a 200, them a give it. You understand? Them the business. Saying, how much of the people them dead? How much shot them fire? How much of the people them kill and wounded? You can take 85 people and none of them not dead. 85, and still I go for more. Take them a whole batch. Yeah.
Some of this stuff hits your neighborhood, and when your kids die, you know, you guys got to be supportive and make sure when you go to those polls and elect those elected officials that are going to be tough on crime, be very selective and do your research. Because believe.
Do your research. Thank you, sir. Because them have to elect the sheriff, them, you know. You know what I'm saying? You elect people, you elect officials, them are tough on crime. Do your research. And that me I tell Jamaican, do no research. I make no man come tell them about party. Do your research. When you do, you deal with people, look for people and look out for you. Poor and the needy, want to vote in people and look out for the interest. Not to keep the zinc down there. I want to sleep on sponge or sleep on nothing at all and have nothing and then go on the $2,000. Them going to less than $20. Then going to $10 or $12 ad. Eh? Going to $10 sometime for just go one place and come back. It bad, man. Do the research. Yeah, man.
Even or not, it affects you. Your property values will drop, and you'll start getting this type of trash in your area, and you're going to regret it. But I thank Sheriff for this opportunity and thank everyone for being here, all the men and women that do this every day and risk their lives to expose themselves to these dangers. There's a lot of work to be done. Like they said, this case will still go on for a little bit, but all these people, hopefully they'll stay in jail for a long time. Thank you all.
Thank you, Sheriff. And we have Mark Brutnell, who is the special agent in charge out of Tampa with us from FDLE.
See it?
Mark's teams and our team work together every day in short-term and protracted investigations, and this is only one more example. But FDLE is always there, and we love their energy and their enthusiasm, and we really love that statewide jurisdiction. Come on up.
Thank you, Sheriff. Good morning, everybody. I first and foremost like to thank the investigative team and the prosecution team that are here. You guys did amazing work. Without that hard work, we would not be here today to make us all look good. You guys are the true
People, see it? Investigative and prosecution team that they saw. You say nobody about them a prime minister and them no stand so and them a chat about a foolish shit. So you say anything like land crab or anything around there, so? Eh? You say anything like this? Because the police business and prosecution business this. And them call up them thing and you see me I say? And this you see in Jamaica. Eh? And them thing you see. See it? Wrong.
champions behind the scenes. Clearly, this drug trafficking organization does not know jurisdictional boundaries, and the amount of poison they've peddled and the firearms and the violent crimes that come with it is very, very scary, but it's a daunting task that obviously we're all up to handle. Again, they don't know jurisdictional boundaries, but I got good news for the public, either do we. As you see here, federal, state, local, all working hand in hand with big results. Again, I want to thank the men and women that put this case together. It was an excellent job well done. Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you, sir. And we have Police Chief David Brennan, who's going to make some comments. Chief Brennan and his team and my team work together every day, everything from minor disturbances to the most major international smuggling rings. And I can always depend on the Winter Haven Police Department and Sheriff Brennan, maybe, I hope you don't run against me next time. Chief Brennan, I worked for a Sheriff Brennan one time. Chief David Brennan is there with every operation we do. Everyone, all the time. And he is very special to us. Chief, come on up.
First, I'll thank you for the promotion today. So, we, as always, as he said, we're always working with the Sheriff's Office. We're also working with other agencies because we can't do this job. Like they said, the drug dealers, they don't know where it stops and where it stops. And as you can see, they're going all over the country and international. It's very important, one, to work with each other so we're successful for our community, because it's not just Winter Haven, it's Polk County. Also, even just for the safety of our own detectives and making sure that we're working together and not stepping on each other's toes. As I look at this board today, there's several names that I see and recognize more than I would care to admit over the years, whether it's them or their family members that I dealt with back when I was a patrol officer or narcotics sergeant, worked cases with the Sheriff's Office on them, doing different buys. And just to go back to what they're talking about in fentanyl and how dangerous that is these days, it's not just the people that are taking narcotics that they know may have fentanyl in it because that's what they want. It's also the people now that are probably buying marijuana, not wanting fentanyl, and don't know it's there. That's what we're dealing with. The overdoses are going up and up, and we're having to deal with that. And not just that, just the safety of our officers not knowing every time they open up a package of drugs, what are they going to be dealing with. So I do appreciate the Sheriff having us here today and the assistance we were able to give on this case.
Thank you, Chief. And our federal partners have chosen not to speak publicly, but don't let their lack of public comments overshadow the fact that they were game on and totally engaged every step of the way. And had it not been for them, there's a lot of things that we could not have accomplished in this. So you guys are simply awesome, and we appreciate it very much. Okay, does the media have any questions of any of the team up here?
How many years has this operation been in operation?
Yes, ma'am. We've known about some of these players, and as you can tell by the previous felony arrest, they've been arrested periodically. But the information came to us that the Jefferson family was heavily involved in major league methamphetamine smuggling, and we've been working this investigation about 2 years, a little more than 2 years. We're right at it. But information is, and we've known that they have been involved in smugglings and robberies and drug dealing for a number of years, but we didn't know of this operation until we collected our intelligence and worked with the other officers involved. But you must understand that my organized crime team, my detectives at work and special investigations and our supervisors, ladies and gentlemen, they're simply the very best in this business. And they're game on all the time, and they work with their colleagues across the state and nation, and that's why these cases come together. We still have 3 people out of state that are still at large and are on the lam that we're working with our colleagues. But when we can pick up the phone and the Fresno police are game on to help us, that's important. The Orlando police officers and the police department's game on. But I can't overemphasize, these folks have been in trouble before. You know, these folks didn't roll out of Sunday school and decide they would create a little mischief this week. These are hardcore people for the most part.
I'm a little hung up on the drugs in the suitcase thing. Were these drugs that were in checked bags, and is there evidence that TSA agents were in on it?
Well, this drug was in checked bags. And sometimes they would have what they call ghost tickets. They would get a ticket to travel, check their bag, and never get on the airplane. And the suitcase would fly by itself. Other times, in this particular case where we took the 6 suitcases off, there were people on the planes with the drugs, 6 of them. But they're very talented and they're very experienced. So this is not the first time these drugs have leaked through, which causes you to be suspicious of when they schedule the flights and who was on duty down checking the baggage in, because they would come off of the planes, through the security, down the elevators, and spread out. We watched a very, very, very impressive effort for them to be able to pick their drugs up and avoid detection.
You know the man them say them what me make it run. Them say them watch it, you know. You hear them do it? Them watch it. Look up in that Jamaican police. Me I watch when me watch them thing, we are talking about my real police in this. Yeah?
We did surveillance, and people would come from Orlando, and they would go to Lakeland and then down to Bartow and then back to Winter Haven before they'd end up back in Davenport. They would make a round-robin trip. So they were very calculated. But look, they weren't hiding this among clothes. They were sending it in this form. So at the end of the day, there was a hook someplace. There had to be. LAX needs to get on this.
What's amazing to me is that you're sending your kid back to college, or your cousin's coming from New York or whatever, and they're on the same plane as this.
Thousands upon thousands of people have flown domestically with drugs in the cargo hole underneath of them.
Is there any indication that there's a distribution network going on in other cities just like this, considering that it was as complex as having airline flights and other things?
This particular operation was here, but we would have to be naive not to think that there's other major smuggling operations going on just like this across the country. This is kind of 3 smuggling operations all working together. Like I said, there wasn't just one boss of this. There were kind of like collateral duties across the different operations. But of course there is.
Can you tell us how many people were wiretapped and how that played into all this?
I can tell you, was it 9 telephones we listened to? 11 telephones we listened to over this operation. And understand, when you roll from phone to phone to phone, they drop phones and go to other phones, and then we have to go update the paperwork and get the state attorney's approval, and then ultimately the judge that's overseeing the case's approval before we can intercept the communications. But there was 11 different telephones in this operation.
How critical were these wiretaps to getting these criminals off the street?
The law clearly says that if there's any other method to successfully dismantle the organization, you can't use communications interceptions or a wiretap. So you have to exhaust other investigative methods before you go to a wiretap. So this organization could not have been dismantled absent this operation with this wiretap.
So you hear what them laws say? You have to exhaust everything else before you come to this. Them have to go through the judge to get where you tap, and you hear them tell them do them thing pan book, pan point. Them now come with state of emergency if you can't see your rights and give soldier police powers. If you do nothing at all, and I tell people one bag of crap, yeah.
And keep in mind, this investigation is still ongoing. You know, people watching this, you know, and I hope you're tuned in on your favorite social media. We're after you too. Don't sleep well tonight.
You know, so them so tune in me after you to me have a good mind say, and some of them that the government in Jamaica attack. Yeah, man, and some of them that the top part of the force. You hear me say me after you too? And them, man.
Don't think you're going to just drink good wine and snort coke. You know, we're after you.
Sheriff, have you been in touch with Cal?
Yeah, them man in the make nice, you know. We after you. Nah, I'm serious.
Law enforcement, and what's been their response to
Oh, sure. Well, Fresno, we worked hand in glove in. We worked with our federal partners, but our California law enforcement partners are game on to help. They work very, very hard. It's just, it's difficult in a state like California where they make misdemeanors out of possession of heroin and methamphetamine and cocaine. I'm trying to encourage everybody who wants to deal with or use drugs, all move to California. You know, if you just go out there, you know, we wouldn't put you in state prison anymore here until you start sending your drugs back here. Because California still hadn't got the message, but slowly but surely they are, as their crime rate goes up, their homelessness is out of control, the tax base is crazy, the good people are losing their mind in California. There's just not enough good people out there to lose their mind to make a difference. So at the end of the day, if you want to use drugs, go to California and stay there, use it out there. It's a misdemeanor, and we won't bother you here in Florida, but we want to lock your butt up here.
When you hear that, okay, you want misdemeanor, go there, so. Come here, so, we're gonna lock your butt up. No ramp with them. You understand? Hey, eyes on the file. I just we're gonna knock it in, but hear this now. You hear them man, how them man talk straight? Here, a Jamaican commissioner, you know, right? But you know, have state of emergency right now, but Kingston and the whole of St. Andrew, you know. Whole of Kingston and St. Andrew go right back, you know. Here, the man I tell you, say, you never have crime commit. On the 25th, when him tour 6, him start from Port Royal, so him come through Rockfort and I forgot where him go, right? Him not have no crime I can't commit, but him have start back a state of emergency. Listen here.
That's what we'll be doing. We're looking forward to a better year next year, a lower year. But the team has been working nonstop to. It's always good to be out and meeting with the members, especially at this time of Christmas Day. It's an important day when most people are at home with their families. We have to have people on duty, and it's always a pleasure to come out and interact with officers on Christmas morning. We've visited 6 stations across largely Kingston and St. Andrew. Started in Port Royal early this morning, and now we're at Stony Hill Police Station. So it's been a good day. Most of the places, as a matter of fact, all of them have been recorded. So no crimes have been reported to any of the stations that we've visited. And hopefully we'll have the rest of the day being as peaceful as it has been so far. The team has been working really hard over the last 3 months to reduce crime, all sorts of crime. But
no, you just, eyes on the file, why you hear what I'm saying now? No crime, no reported. It's at 25th, you know, eyes on the file, man. Make it hear what I'm saying. I tell you, him a draw state of emergency. Listen again.
Started in Port Royal early this morning, and now we're at Stony Hill Police Station. So it's been a good day. Most of the places, as a matter of fact, all of them have been recorded. So no crimes have been reported to
None.
any of the stations that we've visited. And hopefully we'll have the rest of the day being as peaceful as it has been so far. The team has been working really hard over the last 3 months to reduce crime, all sorts of crime, but particularly in terms of violent crime. We will, of course, have just come out of a state of public emergency, and certainly before the end of the year, I'll be seeking another one to.
Him say, I will be seeking another one. No crime, do I know? No crime. I have a prime minister talk about state of emergency. I make all Canada for say, hey, I want to watch one and everybody else watch it. They mash up the country. And man, if you get fired, no crime, yeah.
Violent crime. We will, of course, have just come out of a state of public emergency, and certainly before the end of the year, I'll be seeking another one to start from the latter part of the year and into early part of next year. So as one of our strategies, of course, all the other policing strategies that we use are still going to be used over this period. All of that under Operation Relentless, including what we do under an SOE, is still use the techniques and tactics under Operation Relentless, plus those additional powers given to us under a state of public emergency. So that's
additional powers. You are police. Police are the police for a long time. Never yet woke up in this. There are some of them band never hear about this because it have gone under some extreme dangerous measures, right? And the man come for state of emergency and I live pan state of emergency. And when him say them there is no crime recorded. On the 25th, him say nothing not there. Nothing. And a 6 station him visit start from Port Royal in the east. And him say look more him a call. In at the same time, him a call for state of emergency for lead back in the first part of the year. Him a do that. Eh? And they are testing, People get chopped up now. After state of emergency, people get dead and all kind of things. How much dead? Them say about 2,000 people dead, Because them man, they were just dead and all, chop up. And, I got hear it add up to the figures until January, You understand? So film record no good. Him and a police. Him sit down and just call for state of emergency and them a go round. Go round. And the politician, them a be a foolish system, do. Be a crap, them a do. So man, the real work there, how much people there, they could have taken out 85 and take out a notorious. Let me tell you this. Them I tell you them people that work and them take out these people. 85 of them, how much of them dead? How much of them beat up and step in them face? And them just go arrest them. They know if you arrest them. They know if you catch them. 85? And a little bit of people that you can, and matter of fact, them take them out and them know who doing what. Them get a wire tap and everything. So them can't say me never do this. I want the leader say, oh, me can't talk for myself and me can't because I'm here the leader. Them rob him too. You understand? Then I want to talk to them and say, police can't catch me because me use this and that. Him attack to police, him grab him too. See? Them do police work. Jamaica not do no work. Jamaica crap. You understand? But me can't tell you, say, Gugu, I call for state of emergency and mash up the country. Gugu. And then the Prime Minister running and I tell people about this and that and we have intelligence. When you have intelligence, them come show it. See there? And I like the case them done. But them can't show you from start to finish who and who. And them show you all the drugs where them seize and everything. Them show you. Them not going in a court with it yet. Eh? The state attorney know about everything and what have you and them work with and them have everything on display. Them all have the chain. Them have everything. But them know much in Valley. Them have everything with them. I want to them. Eh? Them have everything and I put it on display and show you. Them not get away now. None of the 85 are not going away. Them all look girl the way you look on. That's some nice time them look on. Eh? Nice time them look on. You see it? Also country for run. 85, how much of them did out of it? The one that say I'm a rapper and him a do one, but them know everything where him do. When them done, them take September. Yeah? September, 3 months, 2 years and 3 months. Because September 2020, them start this. Yeah? And now, at December 2022, and them take out 85, how much millions of dollars worth of thing. Them, look how much thing them seize up. Much dead. It a root, them root up that. Eh? Root it up. How much politician you see right or so? If this was Jamaica, you see truth up so. State of emergency now, them kind of thing, you know. No, I just poor people now, brother. Stop with the foolishness. Bun them with them foolishness, yeah? Yeah, man. Google forget fired. Because of him a call state of emergency. And when you see Google, him should have the DPP. When I talk to because she do the prosecution, she and her team. Not a crab. Not a land crab. Not the government. Him not supposed to in a governor in a Jamaica house. Not supposed to. Him have him look at police place, him call him look at things, and it's supposed to deal with law enforcement, and the law enforcement and the prosecutors. No, you're not supposed to have power with them and this kind of what you call it? Cronies and politically aligned piece of crap. You're not supposed to go on. People will start reject it. I will reject PSOJ too. I will start boycott them too. They will mash up the country. Google have finished it. Remember, you know, you can't have a baby when I have no brain, none at all. And I him a call for where him want call for. Me a call for state of emergency. And let me show you it's illegal. Out time one mouth. Him tell us him go to the station and like the station them never say we're overburdened and this are going people are firebomb, people are dead. And then the Prime Minister come and tell about as long as life in a property trouble and property and life and people can't go home. The man just tell us the place peaceful and him a call for the state of emergency. And that him said peaceful. No crime no reported over them one the way him travel in a Christmas. But him a call for the state of emergency same way. For bringing in the new year. So me I take it out, you know. See me I take it out, you know. Me have to take it out, so Sita. Me have to take it out again. Sita, listen. I saw me I take it out, yeah.
Time with Christmas Day. It's an important day when most people are at home with the families. We have to have people on duty, and it's always a pleasure to come out and interact with officers.
Look how them man are dumb now, fool. We have to have people on duty in America, man. Doctor not for the on duty, nurse not for the on duty. Secure warden not for the on duty. People at airport not on duty. But we have to have our people on duty. You have enough more people on duty. Not your country run. Border patrol people not for the on duty. I want them to the sky. This is why I talk about state of emergency. You can't a tour in the place and nothing go on. But you call for state of emergency still? Yeah.
Christmas morning, we've visited 6 stations across largely Kingston and St. Andrew. Started in Port Royal early this morning, and now we're at Stony Hill Police Station. So it's been a good day. Most of the places, as a matter of fact, all of them have been recorded. So no crimes have been reported.
No crime.
The stations.
And first, remember saying no crime now record over the place, but state of emergency call there. And in the same breath, I tell you now, we have a card for the state of emergency. Strategy we I use. Hear this.
We've visited, and hopefully we'll have the rest of the day being as peaceful as it has been so far. The team has been working really hard over the last 3 months to reduce crime, all sorts of crime, but particularly in terms of violent crime. We will, of course, have just come out of a state of public emergency, and certainly before the end of the year, I'll be seeking another one to start from the latter part of the year and into early part of next year. So,
him tell you how I must seek it. We will just come out. We will. What do you mean by we will? Because then they come out of the state of emergency. That him saying we will just come out of state of emergency. Where the will come from? We will just come out of a state of emergency. We just come out of a state of emergency. And I will be seeking another one. When you say no crime now go on nowhere at all, that's where you tour. No crime, but you call a state of emergency for the whole place. That means you give the Prime Minister some bogus advice then, sir. And then for fire you. You need to get fired. These are the things that people are listening, you know. You understand? These are the things that people are listening, you know. If you say it you know, not at all, you tour the place. Right? And then in your same breath, you call a state of emergency. A matter of fact, few days before that, you do this.
Operation Relentless continues. Here in Manchester, we didn't declare a state of public emergency. but using the other methods, all of the other methods that we use in conjunction with the state of emergency. When we use them in Manchester without a state of emergency, we still got results here. So they'll continue to press. The Manchester team has been working hard and have detained or captured 35 named persons on the normal policing methods.
And the normal policing method. So without state of emergency, them capture 35. But he might tell us, you see it at Manchester that tell. We might tell us them work without state of emergency, but them are do good, them don't need state of emergency. But yes, still them can't state of emergency still. Him tell you when him need it. Me never know that state of emergency is a method, is a tool where you just get up and use so. Andrew, you must see back, you coming like a chump, you must see back no officer or nothing at all. A matter of fact, them for try you. And a matter of fact, them have to get rid of you. And then you can just go with everything where you have. So now we have to, because we know how much money you get for your pay. We know you never born with gold spoon. A matter of fact, I can't play. You say, I ain't never born with gold spoon no more. Not me, not my word. I have it as so. Yeah? But you say you never born with no gold spoon. But right now you get super rich. You have to identify all of these money. The whole I want to know. And money can't hide like that. You understand? Yeah, man. You need somebody serious around the country. Everybody have to get audit. Every single one. And you can't tell me say you have the job that I can't take an interest if you get charged for it too. Yeah. You can't tell me that neither. See? You need serious people to straighten out that country. It will start run like Canada and other country, UK and US and them. It will start run where politicians put them hand in a cookie jar. Yeah, man. It get cramp. When crap put them claw in anything at all, that get what? You talk about, man. Yeah? Crap for going in a barrel. Me there, you know. Learn some later, yeah? Bless.